Welcome to Sports Final Round. I'm Jay Collin with my co-host Darren Svensson.
Well, so much for my prediction, Buffalo in 5. But you know what? We'll talk about that, get the Bruins. But tonight we got a great show planned for all our viewers of Sports Final Round.
Tonight we have a bunch of guests on our show tonight, starting off with North Reading's own Steve Capizzuto talking Red Sox.
We're going to bring in Randy Kaplan from Vegas, Randy McDougal, to talk NFL draft preview with us, maybe some of the rumors he's hearing. And also,
we have the Shocker, Kevin the Shocker Hunt, coming in talking NBA playoffs, the Celtics, and everybody else.
That's right. All right, I admit it. I hate to admit it when I'm wrong, but kudos to the Bruins. What a game last night.
Brother,
what a game.
Buffalo in 5. It's still bizarre to me that you even call that.
I mean, we've been watching this team
all year.
I'm a
townie.
I know you
get away with that.
I know. You're still like David Ortiz, but we'll get that later.
We'll wait for Capizzuto for that one. Don't worry.
I admit it when I'm wrong. I'm doing it now. I just figured Ryan Miller was going to stop every shot with no Savard. The offensive power hasn't been there all year. But you know what? They're coming up. Tuca time, baby. Tuca time.
This is the best this team's been playing in the last 2 years.
Right?
I mean, they're going out there in the last 2 games playing like they should have been playing for the last 2 years. I mean, this team's hitting everybody. I mean, I love that they're trying to start fights. I love that they're out there scoring goals. And how about Mark Recchi the other day?
I know.
Bumps a guy, slides it over. Next thing you know, right to Bergeron. Bang. Game-winning goal. 2-1.
We write notes before the show. And you know what? He's one of the guys. Does the guy age? I mean, he's in his 40s. He's playing one of the best. And you know what? Another guy. Where has this guy been all year? He's been unbelievable in the first 3 games. Vladimir Sobotka. He's playing unbelievable this guy.
Now, you see this guy with the way he's playing. He's playing on the boards. He's playing behind the net. And what he's doing is he's all the little things. He's playing all the little things. And you know what? It's great to see a guy like that who's been in the AHL the whole time all of a sudden come out, right? Now the guy could have earned a spot for next year for the full year.
It's true. And I'll tell you right now, this is what we expected from this team. Not this many injuries, but you know who's finally, we've been waiting for him to be a star, not a role player, Bergeron. He's playing like a star right now. People are trying to check him. He scored the goal last night. Chara's coming to play.
I love the college helmet on Chara, brother.
I know.
I love it. The broken nose, starting fights. But you know what? Bergeron is the best player on the Bruins this year.
He is.
By far. By far. Savard, obviously, is awesome, but the problem is Savard, hopefully he can come back and be Game 5.
There's rumors, he skated yesterday. He was watching the news.
He looked pretty good.
You never know. But I wouldn't rush him for a game, if it goes to Game 6 or a Game 7. Wait till they definitely clear him for maybe the next round. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves there. It's only Game 4 coming up. But I'll tell you, the pressure they're putting on Ryan Miller, who this doesn't, maybe it was a little too much U.S. Olympic hockey for him because he does not look like the goalie we were cheering for in the Olympics.
If you heard what they're doing with Ryan Williams, they're making him slide side to side. They're making the guy move. Head on, the guy's unbelievable. But you make him slide with any goalie. If they're going to slide, they're off balance. They can sneak a few by him. Right. But Ryan Miller, by far, is the best goalie in the NHL. And you know what? This kid, he's looking stupid out there right now because this Bruins team, who's not a big scoring team, think of their line they got, their third line. Sabaka, Ryder, and Wheeler. Can you imagine that line? That line's hustling out there. Sabaka's making Ryder and Wheeler play some hockey. That's why it's so good.
And like I said, I just brought up Ortiz because, when Boston guys get booed and people give up on them, this is where I'm going with this. Who on the Bruins have we booed? We wanted to kick him to the curb. And I even said, I was quoted saying previous shows, I would get rid of him for a bucket of pucks. Scott Weidman, I don't know what, maybe he was just waiting for the playoffs. This guy has come to play, and it's about time we're getting production from him, and thank God we're getting in the playoffs. Good for him. But
hey, Weidman, you know what a pass by Sabaka back to the middle, and that was a blast, boys. But you know what? That's what they signed him for. But people are forgetting, that guy's getting $4 million a year. He's one of the top-signed defensive players on that team.
Right.
So now he finally came through, but I was happy for the guy.
Right.
He's a guy who needed that more than anybody.
Yeah, well, the reason they were all over him because it was a straight up trade for Brad Boyes. Brad Boyes goes, we're missing offensive production from this Bruins team, so you get a good defenseman. We thought Brad Boyes goes and scores 30 goals for St. Louis. Now the fans see that and they're like, and this guy has been terrible. He went from like a plus 32 to a minus 14. That is a drastic drop off.
But also you're forgetting too, he played with Chara a lot last year too. So people were forgetting that. Now when you're playing with the best defenseman in the league, I think Chara by far is the top 3 defensemen in the league. Him and Pronger, and then you're going to obviously grab a few other guys if you want. But those two guys are monsters. They're both 6'5" on skates,
Right.
and they're huge, right? I mean, they're both tough. But he's playing beside Chara. So what happened is Chara's hitting the guys on the board, and Weidman just sitting there for the slapper. I mean, what do you have, like 20 goals last year?
Who, Weidman?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's always been a real good player, hence the $4 million tag. He just didn't get the $4 million tag over the past season.
Yeah.
He signed it because he was a steady player for years, and this was just a real bad year for him. But you know what? All can be forgotten if he keeps playing this way. What Boston fans remember is the playoffs and
J.D.
championships.
Drew, right?
That's it.
J.D. Drew, his first year with the Red Sox.
Yep. Grand slam.
Stunk. Hits the grand slam.
And that's what you remember.
No one says anything, right? Weidman here, hey, if he can play solid, score another goal or two in the next
Sure.
2 games, this kid, people are not going to care, and they're going to say, you know what? Finally, he's playing real hockey.
Yeah, and I think we can put it to rest. We're not going to see Tim Thomas. There's no, if Tuukka messes up, this is a legit goalie. And
How good is he?
think I was wrong again. I'm like, oh, I was like Randy in March Madness.
It's too easy to pick you apart. Just let you know. Okay?
I know, I'm glad you're taking it easy on me.
right.
But, you know, they signed Thomas to a long-term deal last year.
The
Vezina trophy.
But we also say this. The deal was a good deal if you think about it seriously. Because what happened was it was 5-5, then I think it went 3-2.
Right.
It was a deal, right? It's a 4-year deal. Granted, the guy is older, but the guy has been playing on top of his head the last 3 years, which is unbelievable how
Right.
well he's been playing. He deserved the contract.
And he was making peanuts.
He was-
not
of course.
peanuts, but peanuts in NHL perspective, you know?
Yes, but here's a guy, if you think about it, guy was dominating last year, and he's the reason why they got to where they were.
Voted best goalie in the NHL.
I know.
It's hard to fathom.
So-
1 year ago,
And think-
he was the best goalie in the
So
NHL.
the $5 million a year was accurate because that's what they were giving those
Right.
guys. So you know what? Hey, are you going to be able to trade that guy? Wow, that's the question you're going to find out. They can trade him in the offseason because they're going to try to trade him, obviously.
I mean, they have to. And he's got the no trade clause. But you know what? If a guy's that competitive like Tim Thomas is, why wouldn't he waive his no trade clause? I mean, he sees the writing on the wall. He's not dumb. He knows, wow, this kid's pretty good, young, and they got him under control. It's not baseball-wise where, like, minor league, you got him under control 6 years, but they got this guy under control for reasonable money. I think it's like $800,000, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But I'll tell you what, with Timmy Thomas and Chara and all those guys, you got to remember, Tim Thomas, that's what I've noticed last night. He was the first one on the ice after. Smiling, loving it. These guys want a cup.
They want to win.
They do.
That's the whole thing which I love about this team. They want to win. You saw they're finally playing as a team. But also think about this. If they can get rid of Thomas for anything,
Right.
a decent forward, decent defenseman, an average guy, right? Then they're going to either get Hall. If they can get Hall next year in the
Well,
draft,
they're going to get Seguin or Hall.
yeah,
they're in the best
They want
situation.
Hall. They
Yeah.
want Hall. So Seguin would be, they'll take him, but they want Hall. They're going to move up. They're going to trade for number 1. They're going to guarantee.
Why would you trade for number? What are you
Because they
talking
want
about?
Hall.
It doesn't
See,
matter.
that's the problem with you. That's how naive
Why
you
would
are.
you give up
Hall's
any
the best
other thing?
player.
They gonna get. Every scout says it doesn't matter. These guys are so dead even. Why give up anything else? You get the best possible. You don't have to fret over. Oh, I want Hall. I want to get. You're gonna get an
Let me tell you
impact
something.
player. You're gonna
Do
get a
your
franchise
homework.
player.
Do your homework.
Why would you trade?
Hall
This
is the
ridiculous
guy you
talk.
want. I'm going to tell you right now, folks, on Sports Final Round, Hall's the guy you want. Seguin's great. This kid Hall, though, is a real deal. And like they said, for the last 2 years, if he came out last year, he was going number 1, too.
Right, but Seguin, they're the same. They're not the same player. One's a wing, one's a.
Okay, give me the next
All right,
pick.
now this is what I'm hearing. You say they're going to trade or whatever. I'm hearing